Welcome to section 14.3. This is the 152nd session of the CISSP exam prep series. In this session, we'll explore zero trust access. What is wrong with trusting the inside of your network? What does zero trust replace that trust with? Who are the subjects in this model? How does the policy decision point actually decide? And how does the policy enforcement point carry out that decision? Why does this matter beyond the exam? Because the old idea of a safe internal network no longer holds. Picture a company where a contractor's stolen laptop already sits inside the perimeter, and remote staff log in from cafes and airports every day. There is no clean edge left to defend. As a security professional, you will be asked to design and defend architectures that assume the attacker is already in, and zero trust is the framework for exactly that. Let's start with the flaw in the old approach. What is wrong with trusting the inside of your network? Traditional designs work like a castle with a moat. You harden the outer wall, and once someone is past it, they roam freely inside. The problem is obvious once you say it aloud. Anyone who breaches the wall, or was let in for one reason, now has broad trust they never earned. A single stolen credential turns into free movement across the whole environment. That inherited trust is the very thing zero trust throws away. So what does zero trust replace that trust with? Constant verification. Zero trust assumes there is no trust boundary and no network edge at all. Every single action is validated at the moment it is requested as part of continuous authentication. Nothing is waved through just because of where it came from. Before access is granted, the system checks a bundle of signals, like identity, permissions, the device's configuration and security posture, and current threat intelligence. Trust is never granted once and kept. It is earned again with every request. Who are the subjects in this model? Subjects are whoever or whatever is asking for access. That includes human users. But it deliberately reaches wider. Services, automated agents, and other systems all count as subjects when they request access or try to use their rights. The model does not care whether a request comes from a person at a keyboard or a background process on a server. Each one is an untrusted requester that must prove itself. Framing every actor this way is what lets zero trust treat all traffic with equal suspicion. Now the brain of the system. How does the policy decision point actually decide? It has two cooperating halves. The policy engine is the part that makes the call. It runs a trust algorithm that weighs inputs from external systems like identity management, threat intelligence, and security monitoring, then decides to grant, deny, or revoke access. The policy administrator is the part that acts on that decision. It is not a person, but a component that opens or tears down the connection between a subject and a resource, issuing session credentials when access is allowed, and ordering the session ended when it is not. Together, the engine and the administrator form the policy decision point. And how does the decision get carried out on the wire? Through the policy enforcement point. This is the component that actually sits in the path between the subject and the resource. It forwards each request to the policy administrator and then does whatever it is told, either allowing the connection or ending it. In practice, it is often split into two pieces: a local piece near the subject, like a client or app, and a gateway piece along the network path to the resource. Think of the decision point as the judge and the enforcement point as the officer at the door who carries out the ruling. So let's bring it together. Traditional moat and castle designs hand out broad inherited trust the moment someone is inside, and that is the flaw. Zero trust removes the trust boundary entirely and validates every action continuously against identity, posture, and threat data. Subjects are any requester, whether a person, a service, or a system. The policy decision point, made of the policy engine and the policy administrator, decides using a trust algorithm and then opens or closes the path. The policy enforcement point sits in line and executes that ruling. Assume breach, verify everything, and trust nothing by default. The MCQs covering all the topics and concepts from this session are available on rucloud.com. Practice the chapter-specific MCQs before moving on to the next session. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or feedback, post a comment below or email us. I will see you in the next session.